Oh, what's going on, my trainer club? We have the battle parties to defeat Heatran every single time. I'm gonna bring you the battle parties, including what his 100% IV is if you didn't watch my other video already, and everything else that you need to know to make sure to beat Heatran and to see how many players you can do it with. So, welcome to the trainer club, guys. Here we go! All right, guys. I am ready to bring this battle party to you so that we can beat Heatran every single time, and it's really cool because we can beat him with a minimal amount of players, which is 3 and 2 actually. You can actually beat him with 2 players. Let me know in the comments if you plan to try to 2-man Heatran. You're gonna have to know a couple of the tricks to do that, but before that, let's get into everything else so that we can get you prepped. At the end of the video, after my outro, I will go ahead and drop the gameplay of the 2-man. It is very, very close to see if we beat that guy. So as we know, and as I've said before, Heatran is strong to a lot of things, and he is weak to only 3 things. He is going to be weak to fighting, normal weakness, water, normal weakness, and then double weak to ground, which is going to make the ground Pokemon massively superior to all of the other Pokemon when we are selecting our battle parties. So he is going to double resist, so he's having double the resistance to bug, fairy, poison, ice, grass, and steel. So he has double resistance to that, and then he has regular resistance, which means he is strong taking attacks too. Dragon, flying, normal, and psychic. So this dude is pretty resistant overall to different types of Pokemon, so that's why I think he could be a pretty good alternative to PvP, as long as the opposing person does not have an Earthquake or a Mud Slap type move to go ahead and get after you with. So just a quick recap, the 100% IV is going to be 2145 under normal conditions, and then boosted at level 25 under either snow or sunny weather, he is going to be 2681 at a level 25. So those are the IVs to look for. And he has a max CP of 3754. So if you're going to duo this guy, as we're going to see at the end of the video, make sure to have the double weaknesses primarily throughout your first whole party. And they want to be at least level 35 and up, because you're going to need to do a lot of damage. But since he's double weak, it's almost like doing double the amount of damage to him when you're doing your moves and your specials. So make sure to do that. The only thing to note is if he does have the Iron Head, it does kill the Pokemon a little bit faster than the other moves. So now let's get into our viable options to use, starting with the supreme attackers to build our battle party. So number 1, we are going after Groudon with Mud Slap and Earthquake. That is the supreme attacker. Groudon takes the crown. Unless we had Garchomp in there, Garchomp would be the top ground attacker, but we don't have that right now. So we're going with the Groudon for number 1. For number 2, we are going with Rhyperior. So if you have that Sinnoh Stone and you have a Rhydon, go ahead and pop with that Sinnoh Stone, which I did in order to do this 2-man because I really wanted to have another ground attacker and I didn't feel like boosting up a whole nother Groudon to get that to work. And then going down to the excellent attackers, we're gonna have Rhydon. Rhydon with the Mud Slap Earthquake is going to be crucial. We can also then go to Swampert with the Mud Shot Earthquake. So basically the question is, do you want a supreme really good attacker or an excellent attacker? And if the answer is yes, you need to find Pokemon that have Earthquake and they also have ground quick moves, which is either Mud Slap or Mud Shot. And then we can also use Golem, because Golem can get the Mud Slap and the Earthquake for his type effectiveness, because he is ground and he is rock, but typically we use him as a rock attacker. But in this case, if you feel like TMing a bunch of Pokemon, you can TM your Golems to have ground moves. And then the only Pokemon that makes it into this that isn't a ground Pokemon is going to be an excellent attacker of Kyogre. Kyogre is going to make it in there with the Waterfall, Hydro Pump, probably just because of the sheer massive amazing Pokemon stats that these guys have. Him and Groudon share amazing stats, and since he is the best water attacker in the game and he is so powerful, he's able to make it into the excellent tier attackers. And then as we go down the list in the next attackers, we are taking a significant drop in the amount of damage that these attackers are going to do. So the ones I've talked about already are going to be by far the ones you're going to want to use if you are going to 2-man it. But now if you're going to 3, 4, 5, 6 different players, now we can use some of these other ones to utilize other Pokemon in your bag. So some of the good attackers is going to be the fighting Pokemon is going to be the Machamp with Counter and Dynamic Punch. We can actually use the Flygon with the Mudshot Earthquake, and then we can use the Breloom, or we can use the Hariyama with Counter and Dynamic Punch. So as you know, these guys aren't quite as strong as Machamp, so this is why we are saying these are good attackers. So this is Supreme, excellent, good. We're in third tier right now. And then you can actually use the Alolan Dugtrio with Mud Slap, Mud Bomb actually, which is a pretty cool move. I haven't seen that one be done in a battle. And then we can also use the Blaziken with Counter, and then we can also use one of my favorite Pokemon just because he's super cool. I love how he attacks, is the Donphan. If you couldn't guess from my animation, if you have an attack with him, and you're going to use a unique counter move of fighting, and then the Earthquake move is going to do that, but he does not get the stab on the fighting move. And then you can also use the Gyarados with the Waterfall Hydro Pump as an option. And then hopefully in the near future we are going to get Mamoswine, and we are going to be getting Garchomp. And so actually, Garchomp is considered the #1 Supreme attacker with that Mudshot Earthquake move. So hold tight, hopefully that will come out before this guy phases out so we're able to utilize him in battle. And the best weather to fight him in is actually going to be sunny weather because ground gets boosted. Although the fire is going to get boosted, since these Pokemon are resistant to the fire moves, and they're going to be having ground moves which are boosted during the sunny weather, you can get a level 25, you can also get your boosted ground moves, and you could do more damage. And then also, if you're planning on duoing it, I highly advise that you guys are at least Ultra Friends, and preferably best friends, to be able to get the maximal damage and then the maximal balls after that. And then for Heatran's moves, he gets Fire Spin and he gets Fire Blast. So these moves are stab effective. If you're going to get this one, I highly advise that maybe this is the one that you consider. You can also consider using Iron Head as his charged attack because he gets stab on the steel too. All right guys, so that does it. Make sure to always have the ground attackers in your Pokemon party. Go ahead and set those up. If you need to go down the tier list, start with the ground, then go to the Kyogre, and then after that you can go into the best attack list. But that is tier 3, and remember, those ground Pokemon are going to do the most amount of double damage to them. So let's check out my duo attempt. I can't wait to see what you guys think. I know I didn't have all the Pokemon in there that are the Supreme attackers because I didn't feel like putting a ton of dust into a bunch of other Groudons. I did power a couple of them up. I did evolve my Rhyperior to be able to do this. I'm going to put both of the screen records next to each other so you guys can watch that. And then also stay tuned at the end for my Heatran catch attempt with 18 balls trying to Pineapple him. He was not a fan of pineapple berries, I'll tell you that much. So thank you for tuning in, guys. I super appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you're having a magical event, and happy holidays to everybody that you know and love. And make sure to tell them how much you appreciate everybody, just like I am telling you right now how much I appreciate you being a part of the Trainer Club and watching my videos. So I will see you guys out there on that next video.